need to know what is success. Everybody gives a different definition of it.
Everyone wants success. So we get life coaches, we get career coaches, we get peer coaches, we go to universities and do MBAs, and even when your parents send you to school, they send you to succeed. And they say, go study hard so you can become successful. Go to university so you become successful. Get a good job so you can become successful. And everyone is chasing this success, and no one seems to know what this success looks like. To a lot of people, success is money. And yet you look at some of the rich people, and Allah knows they need help. They are very far from success. They are suffering. And we are no people to judge, but people are going through serious difficulties. So just judging a person by his bank balance is not sufficient criteria for success. And to others it's fame. How many likes do you have on Facebook? How many people follow you?
Success, in a nutshell, means this. It means to have goals and achieve those goals. That's the meaning of success in a nutshell. The closer you get to the goals, the greater success you have achieved. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right. But the problem now is what kind of goals? Not just any goals. People have all sorts of goals in life. Some of them are meaningless goals. Some of them are harmful, terrible, evil goals. If I have a goal to go and rob a particular store and I achieve that goal, that is success. But is it good success or bad success? Bad success. If I intend to go and bash that person and go and get my revenge, and then I get that person and leave a family who is saddened and grieved over them because of my anger and my revenge, I have succeeded in my goal. But is it a good goal? Is it a good success? No. Allah says in the Quran to be careful about people when you are doing your work and reaching your goal. Not everything is good success. Some things are just gone and will not benefit you whatsoever. Allah says, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. In Surah Al-Kahf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, shall I tell you about those who are the biggest losers in their efforts and work? They are the ones who have drawn a path in this life towards the wrong end, while they thought that what they were doing was actually good, but it was a destruction. So how do we know?
I want you to imagine, dear brother, dear sister, the situation of a very wealthy person who lived in the life of this world believing that he had achieved the peak of success. He had the cars, he had the shoes, he had the homes. And then on the day of judgment, when he sees the reality of the hereafter, and he sees humanity coming out of their graves, and he sees the books of deeds being thrown about in the heavens, people receiving them in their right or left hand, he sees paradise being brought forth to be seen by humanity, and he sees the hellfire as well, roaring in rage. For so many people, be it that wealthy businessman whom we spoke about, who lived a life far away from Allah, or anybody else, for many people, on that day, what once seemed to be the greatest aspiration will all of a sudden seem to be like a regretfully wasted opportunity. It is this regret that we want to avoid with everything we possess today. There isn't anything worse than meeting Allah Almighty, only then to realize that you had lived for the wrong objective in life. So many people, dear brothers and sisters, have passed away. And now that they have died and seen the realities of the other side, they wish that somebody who is still alive could plant a tree in their name, or build an orphanage on their behalf, or carry out some sort of good deed and perhaps gift the benefit of that good deed to them now that they have died and their books have come to a close. We don't want to be like that person, do we? We don't want to be an individual who dies and then waits for people on the earth to build for him his hereafter. We want to build our own. We want to take control of our destiny by the permission of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu and do something about it. We want to be active Muslims. What is success? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. Every soul shall taste death. وَإِنَّمَا تُوَفَّوْنَ أُجُورَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. And it is on the day of judgment that you're going to receive your wages in full. Listen carefully. Allah is about to give you an either definition of success now. فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ. Therefore, whoever is pushed away from the hellfire, وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةِ, and given access to paradise, فَقَدْ فَازَ. That person has succeeded. According to Allah Almighty, that is your definition of success. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. Allah says, and what is the life of this world other than the joys of deception? What does that mean? It essentially means that every worldly success today that does not lead me to paradise and push me away from the hellfire, then this is not success, this is failure, even if people call it success.
So trying to find this elusive success, we go back to what the Creator said, and there's no definition better than the one Allah Rabbul Izzah gave. Listen to it, my dear brothers, so that you understand and engrave it in your hearts and in your minds. Allah Rabbul Izzah says, listen, فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. Whoever traverses over Jahannam, whoever is saved from Jahannam and enters Jannah, that person is indeed successful. So success, my dear ones, is to live a life that would lead you to Jannah. And how to get there, my dear brothers and sisters, how do you secure Jannah? Allah Rabbul Izzah says, whoever obeys Allah and obeys the Prophet, indeed فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. Whoever obeys Allah and obeys the Prophet, indeed he has earned the great success as in Jannah. Meaning, live through this life living in obedience of Allah and in the obedience of the Rasul. Do what they said to do. If they commanded you, do it. If they told you don't, stay away from it. In that is your Jannah in this world and your Jannah in the Akhirah. You understand the Jannah of this world is the obedience of Allah and the obedience of the Prophet. Anytime you obey and do good, Allah brings peace and tranquility into your heart and your mind. You have clarity of vision and purpose, peace and solace of heart, goodness of your surroundings. And this is Jannah. This is what everyone is seeking in this world. And in the Akhirah, it goes to the real Jannah and you get it. But then you ask, Ustaz, but listen, give us some, tangible things to do. So I found, looked at another verse, and Allah Rabbul Izzah says specifically, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. This is for those that want specific things to do. So Allah Rabbul Izzah says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Indeed, successful are the believers. So the first thing, my dear ones, correct and fix the iman, the belief in your hearts. Make sure that your belief is correct. Make sure it is the belief that Allah and His Prophet wanted, and make sure it is at the level that is desirable to Allah and His Prophet. So قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Second, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who in their salah they have khushu'. Khushu' is the fear of Allah Rabbul Izzah coupled with his ta'zeem and ijlal, meaning stand in salah with your heart filled in awe and reverence of the Master. You know, I stand in front of the King of Kings and the Master of Masters, the one who made the sun and the moon, and the one whom when I say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, he Jalla Subhanahu responds and says Hamadani Abdi, and you say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, and he Jalla Subhanahu says Athna Alayya Abdi. Fill your heart with that khushu and the awe and reverence of the Master. So Iman, khushu, and then Allah Rabbul Izzah says وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ, those who avoid silliness, you know, time wasting, this game and that game and this social media and that social media, and where it is for khair, walillahi alhamd, you know, you're using it for da'wah, Allah bless it and increase it for you. But where it is just unnecessary time wasting, Allah Rabbul Izzah says avoid time wasting. And then Allah Rabbul Izzah says Jalla Subhanahu وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. And you know, I look at the wording, Allah Rabbul Izzah doesn't say and those who give zakah. He says and those who work for zakah. It seems as though it is people, or they are people who work to become or to have enough for their own needs, but then also have enough to give extra to people. So they work to be able to give zakah. Or another translation, they work for zakah, as in they promote, you know, they remind people to give zakah, they give zakah, they role model it to people. So my dear brothers, first of all, give zakah and ensure that the people around you are reminded about zakah. And ideally, become, may Allah Rabbul Izzah honor you with it, become self-sufficient, become people that have enough for their own selves, and then become people who are able to help others. May Allah Rabbul Izzah make it a cause of good for you. And then just quickly, Allah Rabbul Izzah says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ, and those who safeguard their chastity, إِلَّا عَلَىٰ أَزْوَاجِهِمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ غَيْرُ مَلُومِينَ, except for their wives and those others who they have rights over, as in, you know, they're allowed to exercise their desires with. And in that case, there's no blame on them. And وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِأَمَانَاتِهِمْ وَعَهْدِهِمْ رَاعُونَ, Muslims, never break your promise, never break your trust. Someone gives you $50, say here, or 50 riyal or 50 rupees or whatever, says, listen my brother, I am going away, look after this for me. Don't even spend that 50 and replace it with another. Keep that same $50 as the epitome of trust. Say, he gave me this one, I won't even spend this, and then reflect the same in the rest of life. So don't break your promise. You know, where there's reason, it is different, but ordinarily, and don't betray your trust. And those who safeguard their prayers, dear ones, organize your day around your salah, not your salawat around your day. Do you understand? Organize your day around the prayers. Don't organize the prayers around your day. You know, so for example, Fajr comes very early in summer. So you go, but work starts at 8 o'clock. Khalas, it's all right, I'll sleep in, I'll wake up at 6. I'll pray the salah later. No, my brother. Wake up early, pray your salah. Do what is the wajib and what is, you know, you're responsible to do. Organize your day around that. May Allah Rabbul Izzah bless you. And then Allah Rabbul Izzah says, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْوَارِثُونَ, these people who believe and do these righteous deeds, they are the ones who will inherit. What will they inherit? الَّذِينَ يَرِثُونَ الْفِرْدَوْسَ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, they will inherit Jannatul Firdaus, and there they will live in eternity. May Allah gather me and you in Jannatul Firdaus. My dear brothers and sisters, may Allah bless you and guide you and guard you and protect you and reward you and increase the